The stealth game genre is an interesting subject to explore. Originating from a franchise you wouldn't imagine starting stealth, and eventually leading into a renaissance period where stealth games occupied most store shelves. Despite their success in the past, as of recent years, games that focus on stealth have gone nearly extinct. Where did tactical espionage go? And is it possible for this type of gameplay to still succeed today? To answer that question, we'll have to go back to 1981.
It was the beginning of a very long education.
Castle Wolfenstein, as odd as it may sound, was the first stealth game created. The end goal of every mission is to locate secret war plans. Sneaking by or shooting a guard was up to you as long as the war plans were obtained. First releasing on Apple II and later Atari and Commodore 64, Wolfenstein had great success. Receiving positive feedback due to its unique gameplay, a sequel was guaranteed. This was slowly creating a new genre altogether. Coming to MSX2 and NES platforms in 1987, we had the first installment of Metal Gear. Following the game's quick success, it received 2 additional sequels. After this final MSX Metal Gear, there was a massive halt to stealth. The technology wasn't available at the time to really do more than what we had seen. Metal Gear and Wolfenstein both shared the top-down panel-by-panel view, similar to what you'd see in Zelda. Initially, Hideo Kojima wanted Metal Gear to include action-packed gunplay with numerous enemies on screen. Who imagined after 11 years that exact game he dreamed of would become reality? September 1998, Metal Gear Solid hit store shelves. Perhaps one of, if not the most iconic video game ever made, Metal Gear Solid defined the stealth genre, setting new standards for graphics, gameplay, and solidifying a future for stealth games. Within the same year, Thief, The Dark Project, and Tenchu came out.
You must learn how to move unseen. Stay in the shadows. Avoid the light.
Thief featured first-person gameplay with an interesting narrative, choosing to focus on collection and thievery over fighting an open conflict. This was one of the first FPS stealth titles. Tenchu followed the ninja route, featuring a level-by-level assassinate the target dynamic.
Overkill.
The Siphon Filter series snuck up in 1999. It was a strange crossover between Mission Impossible and stealth-oriented third-person shooter. Soon after, we received Thief 2, Deus Ex, and Hitman. It was quickly becoming more apparent how stealth could be integrated into gameplay. Deus Ex allowed the player multiple ways to handle a given mission, lockpick a door, or sneak through, pilfering for information off a freshly hacked computer, or just gun everyone down. Hitman, on the other hand, would utilize disguises in their game, while also giving the player a choice of full stealth or death to everyone. Splinter Cell was another important franchise at this time to advocate the creative adventures stealth gameplay could offer.
And since I don't want to undress you, that means I have to take your body. My body?
At this point, it was obvious that having stealth mechanics could just work. It became commonplace to implement stealth in any regard just to mix up gameplay. Military games, RTS, and especially survival horror. At least some type of sneaking was persistent in most titles. From 2000 to 2013, I consider the golden age of stealth games. Recently, games have slowly started to lean in a more linear direction gameplay-wise. Stealth was dying slowly. As games became more expensive to develop, companies would have to consider how much they spend versus how much they make. Konami, for example, would rather invest funds into mobile games instead of big-budget projects. For example, Metal Gear had always been a bestseller, easily selling millions of copies. But one successful phone game can cost little to make, So the cost of making a new Metal Gear game versus the minimal cost of just making a ton of phone games, they chose the phone games.
What are you talking about?
They're just using you.
Slowly, it became less lucrative to develop games purely focused on stealth. A game like Call of Duty appealed to more audiences easily, while still selling well. Games such as Assassin's Creed would tote a theory of being stealth-oriented, but then fall completely flat. They ironically aren't built for stealth, even though being an assassin should be synonymous for not being caught. All the games I mentioned earlier had numerous sequels though, some even persisting into the modern day, while others fell off the list. Looking at Hitman, we can see a 2-year gap between the first 4 games, then a 6-year hiatus. Not to mention, the game we got after 6 years was Absolution, which was absolutely terrible. Situations similar to Hitman have happened with a couple other successful stealth games. Only the biggest franchises were able to persist into this day and age, with Splinter Cell, Metal Gear, RIP Metal Gear, and the newest title to come forward, Dishonored. What could the future hold for this genre? The concept of being elusive and evading danger has left an impact on games as we know it. Stealth may not be as big of a focal point as it was in previous years, but its mark has been left on gaming as a whole. Metal Gear and Tenchu might be dead, but a new generation of titles come our way to fill that empty void inside. Styx, a green-skinned goblin obsessed with amber, tells a mythic tale of rescue and confusion. A spiritual successor to the Thief gameplay with elements of its own mixed in. Origami and Deadbolt show that an indie scene still cares for subtlety, while Arcane Studios continues to shell out amazing games such as Dishonored 2. Stealth gameplay has innovated and expanded over the years, and will always be a part of games in some form or another. There may be less fully dedicated games to the genre, but lurking in the darkness will always be a new stealth game. As long as we show our support for these games, they will never be gone. I have hope for even Tenchu, so just love your game so that we can continue getting new Hitman, Splinter Cell, or whatever game lies forgotten to you. Thank you for checking out the video. As always, I enjoyed making it and look forward to chatting with you all in the comments. For everyone subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that bell next to subscribe and you'll get notifications whenever a new video of mine goes up as well. See you guys next time. This is Demon Fox Yoko, signing out.